going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Playbook Sports Podcast. It is time for some free agency predictions. We've been really hammering the draft content. Let's talk about some of the guys already in the league and where we think they might go. Today, we're going to talk about the offensive free agents, and then coming up shortly, we will also do a video on the defensive free agents. And I plan to give you guys kind of what I think is a realistic baseline for their contracts for this offseason, what I think these guys might get. You may not like it, you may not want to hear it, but it's the truth. So make sure you guys are already subscribed to the channel for this NFL offseason, as we are going to just be pumping out videos and full of content. But without further ado, let's jump into this video. I want to start with quarterbacks, and I'm going to start with, I think, maybe the hardest prediction to make, and this one's going to really send some people. We're going to start with quarterback Malik Willis, who's coming off of really a solid season with Green Bay, where he get to come in and spell Jordan Love at times making the offense look even better. Former second-round pick, shipped out of Tennessee as quickly as possible. Green Bay played a little bit in 2024, looks solid. 2025 looks solid. When you look at the true talent of Malik Willis and the unteachables, right? His raw athleticism, his raw talent, he's good. He is a talented player. He is a talented quarterback. The issue has always been working on the more nuanced parts of playing quarterback. I think that some team's going to look at kind of this small body of work that he's put together and say, you know what? I think I can get that version of Malik Willis over a 17-game season. And if you think you can get someone who played the way he did in Green Bay this year, go look at the numbers. Go look at the stats, guys. He looked good. Look in those games. When he came in against the Bears, the Packers' offense was dead in the water that game. They were playing terrible. He came in and started playing and moving the offense in a way that Jordan Love wasn't because of that athleticism that he has. You look at him and you think, can he be like a Lamar Jackson? Can he be this ultra athlete that we can work on the whole quarterback part of things? Some team's going to think that they can. I don't know if he can, right? We've never seen it. I think that when he comes to the table, he's going to say, hey, Baker Mayfield's contract looks pretty good. Sam Darnold's contract looks like a pretty good starting point, somewhere in the $30 million range, somewhere a little north of that. I don't think he's going to get as much as them, strictly because he doesn't have the starting quarterback experience that they do. But he's a better athlete than both of them, has just as strong of an arm, I would say, as both of them, just hasn't shown it in the league like they have. So I don't think he deserves quite as much as them. But you guys are going to hate it when someone pays this man $30 million a year, but someone is going to pay Malik Willis $30 million a year. And I think it's going to be one of these teams. I think the Jets are going to be on the phone. Who's playing quarterback for the Jets? Couldn't tell you who it is. Is Justin Fields going to be under contract next year? Probably not. Steelers, is Aaron Rodgers going to come back? Probably not. New coach? I mean, I know it's Mike McCarthy, but is he going to want to play for Mike McCarthy again? I don't know. Falcons, is Michael Penix really the answer? You've got all these weapons, you've got all these guys, and then Penix has just been bad. Do you say, you know what, maybe we made a mistake, let's go get a better quarterback here? I could see the Miami Dolphins going out and saying, you know what, let's figure out the cap space. We can make a bunch of moves to get into the positives. We've got Jeff Hafley as the head coach who just worked with Malik Willis. We've got John Eric Sullivan from Green Bay who was a part of the process to bring him in. Please don't do it. Again, this isn't what I want. I'm just predicting what I think the kind of contract they can get. I'm not going to predict which team. I just think that these are possible teams, the Jets, Steelers, Falcons, and Dolphins. I am going to predict his contract. Someone's going to pay him 3 years, $90 million. Get comfortable with that, people. Get comfortable with that. The salary cap is only going up. These guys, the market is what the market is. You're going to hear me say that a lot today. So I think someone comes to Malik Willis and says, we'll give you 3 years, $90 million, which really works out to, in my opinion, a 2 year, $60 million contract with an out or like a player option, team option for that third season, depending on how he's doing. I think that's what he's going to get. He's young. He's a super athlete. Some coach is going to look at him and say, I can get the best out of him. I can fix him. Next quarterback I want to talk about, the only other quarterback really I want to talk about, and we'll be a little more brief with this one, Daniel Jones, coming off of really a resurgent season for the Indianapolis Colts. He had the Colts cooking, and then the wheels started to fall off a little bit. They ran into some rough injury luck. Obviously, he broke his leg and went out there and said, I'm still going to play, and then tore his Achilles tendon late in the season. So that makes this one a little bit tricky. Will he sign just like a 1 year cheap contract that's just like, hey, I got bills to pay, I need some cash? Because I can't play most of this season. We'll see how soon he can be back. I think that if I'm Daniel Jones, though, I say, listen, I think I can be ready for the start of the season, about 9 months after his injury. I don't think that's impossible, 9-10 months after his injury. I think that's very reasonable in the world today. I think he says, look at my tape, guys. I was awesome. I played fantastic football this year for the Indianapolis Colts. I am a dual threat player, assuming he comes back okay from the Achilles injury. I can throw the ball in tight windows. I've got a strong arm. I'm smart. I think that he's going to try and cash in. And if you're Daniel Jones, why wouldn't you? He's already gotten one good contract from the New York Giants. I think he gets something similar this year. I think he gets a little more money. I'm predicting for his contract, again, this is going to really throw you guys off. I think 4 years, $170 million. I think he can realistically say, like, yeah, I'd like the Baker Mayfield contract level. I'd like to be around that. Now, obviously, the cap is way higher now than it was when he signed that deal, so we've got to adjust for that. I think that pushing $42.5 million a year is realistic for him. I really do, especially with how he played. And then you look at the teams who might be interested in his services for the next 4 years. Again, I'm going to mention again the Steelers, because who's playing quarterback for them? You just brought in an older coach. You've got an older roster that's ready to win, but you just still have not figured out quarterback, even though Rodgers was okay. I think the Colts would be wise to bring him back, because otherwise, what's the plan? You know, he looked good with Shane Steichen. That can be your future quarterback. You're obviously not super interested in giving Anthony Richardson a shot to develop and grow. And are you going to turn to the fan base and say, yeah, Riley Leonard's the future? Because he's not. I think the Arizona Cardinals might pick up the phone here, especially if they move off of Kyler Murray. If Kyler Murray's traded to someone like, say, the Jets, and they pick up, a future 1 or a 2 or whatever you can get for Kyler Murray and get off his contract, I don't know why they wouldn't be on the phone with Daniel Jones trying to bring him in. And then the Minnesota Vikings, I think it's a sneaky one. He was there for a year. He knows that system. And is JJ the guy? Is JJ going to be the guy? You just lost your GM, just got fired. I have to imagine that a big chunk of that reasoning is because he let Sam Darnold go, and Sam Darnold's playing for the Super Bowl, and your quarterback was not very good this season. I've got to imagine that played a really big role in his firing. So I think that one of the Colts, Steelers, Cardinals, or Vikings pays out and makes Daniel Jones the quarterback for the franchise. Okay, moving into just the running back position here, I really just have one guy that I want to talk about. I really think Breece Hall is a very solid running back. Now, did we prematurely crown him? Oh, God, yes, we did. I'll never forgive everybody for 2 years ago going into the 2024 season, either 2024 or 2023 season, saying that he's number 2 fantasy running back. This is RB2. That was insane. I talked about it a lot at that time. That why in the hell are we saying that? Whatever, I digress. Going into this offseason, only 24 years old, just broke 1,000 yards for the first time in his career on a bad football team, the New York Jets, without a quarterback. So everyone knows you're going to be running the football. Still broke 1,000 yards. He's played pretty much every single game for the last 3 years, 16, 16, 17. So he's very durable, very dependable. I think he gets paid pretty handsomely. I think that Breece Hall pushes up towards about $11.5 million a year. I don't think that should really shock anybody. He's talented. He's young. He's dependable. He doesn't miss time. I think that the Titans should be on the phone. I think the Jets really should try to keep him in building, considering you've already shipped out a ton of talent. You really don't want to hemorrhage more talent because your team's obviously just going to get worse. It's hard to pay a running back, especially when your team's not very good, but who else are you paying? You don't have a whole lot of talent there. I think the Bengals could be on the phone. They didn't get a whole lot out of their running back position this year. I know, Chase Brown's solid, but if the Bengals think, you know what, we can get a big upgrade here at running back and kind of continue to just go all in on offense and say, sorry, defense, we don't care about you, I think the Bengals could be on the phone. I think Arizona Cardinals could be on the phone too. Arizona's got cap space to make this move happen. Arizona's running back room was James Conner and Trey Benson and Amari DiMercado, and I think a little bit of Michael Carter in there too, if I'm not mistaken. Just a bunch of guys. You can go get a real guy here in Breece Hall, and I wouldn't hate to see that. I think with the competitiveness of who can get him and who wants him, I think 3 years, about $35 million a year, just shy of $12 million a year. Very reasonable spot for him when you look at his contract comps. I think that he fits right in with those, and I think that when you can push up to just shy of $12 million a year, I think Breece Hall probably worth it this year. You get him for the beginning of his prime. He's only 24 years old. You get him through age 27, and if he's been playing great, you keep him. And then he's been there, and I think Breece Hall is going to be the top running back available in free agency. There's a bunch of guys, and again, we can do more on this later, but Breece Hall is really the only one that makes today's video. Next 2 guys, we're moving into the wide receiver room here. Next 2 guys had awesome seasons to really earn their contracts this offseason. And we're going to start with the belle of the ball in this offseason, in my opinion. George Pickens, outside of the quarterbacks, I think George Pickens probably gets the most money out of any other player available. I don't think Trey Hendrickson signs a long-term deal. So I think, or at least, not long enough to where people are comparing the overall value of the contracts. George Pickens is going to get paid. We should all get comfortable with that. These next 2 guys getting a ton of money because wide receivers are very valuable. When free agency starts in March, I believe his birthday is in about a month, he'll turn 25. He's still super young, coming off of the best season of his career. If I'm George Pickens and I'm walking into rooms to start negotiating, I'm saying, hey, go grab the DK Metcalf contract that he signed when he became a Steeler, and that's where we're going to start this at. Because I think he's very reasonably comparable to DK Metcalf, and that may throw some of you guys off. But when you look at, and this isn't just a one-year overreaction too, look at their 4-year start to their careers. DK Metcalf, 306 receptions, 4,218 yards, 35 touchdowns. George Pickens, 267 receptions, so about 40 less catches roughly. More yards, 4,270 yards for George Pickens and 21 touchdowns. Touchdowns is so dependent on the quarterback throwing you the football and so many other factors that it's hard to really factor that into it, but both been dependable, both very good players, both big-bodied receivers that can go up and get it. I mean, how many times did George Pickens just go up and pull down a ball this year that was like, how did he catch that? The guy's always had insane hands. He's made some crazy catches in his career. Bit of a head case, absolutely, but most of the great receivers are, to be truthful. I think when you say DK Metcalf got $33 million a year, if I'm Pickens, that's where I'm starting. I'm saying, listen, I'm worth that. I'm worth at least $33 million a year. And I think the possible teams here for a wide receiver one, Dallas. Dallas really should not let him go, right? You let Micah Parsons go to save money there. Now you got to spend it somewhere else. You got to spend it somewhere else. It'd be hard for them to let George Pickens walk after the year they just got from him. I think the Bills need to be on the phone offering him whatever it takes, figuring out the cap space. I know they're not in the best spot for their cap, but the Bills do not have a number one wide receiver on their roster. Go get Josh Allen, a number one wide receiver. Another team I've already mentioned here before, I think Tennessee Titans. What's the best thing you can do for Cam Ward? Get him some actual weapons. Your best wide receiver is Calvin Ridley, who will probably be a cap casualty. You've got the money. Go get a number one to grow with Cam Ward. I want to say Cam Ward's about, 24? George Pickens, 25. They're about the same age, which is kind of crazy. Let them go together. Just let them form that chemistry together and be just like Tannehill and A.J. Brown over there, And then I think that the Raiders should be on the phone. You're going to have a young quarterback in Fernando Mendoza when you draft him at number one overall. You shipped out Jacoby Myers this past season. You've got Ashton Genty and Brock Bowers, but you don't have anything to speak of at the wide receiver position, and you've got plenty of cap space. Go get a number one receiver for your brand new shiny quarterback. I think that the contract ultimately comes out to about 4 years, $136 million. I think that he goes above DK Metcalf's contract. He's 2 years younger than DK Metcalf was when he signed it. You get George Pickens for 4 years at age 25, 26, 27, and 28. Those are prime years for him. And it's not like he's not like the speed small receiver who completely relies on his speed. He's a big dude. He has a go up and get it receiver with great hands. That is a skill that lasts. Ask DeAndre Hopkins. I'm not comparing the two. I'm just saying bigger guys with good hands, that doesn't just go away as you age. Eventually you get too slow, but that just doesn't go away. And I think he's going to be great for these next 4 years. And if I'm one of those 4 teams, I'm handing him a blank check and saying, yeah, we need to make you one of the highest paid receivers in the league. Next receiver I want to talk about here, underappreciated player throughout his time with the Colts, Alec Pierce. Alec Pierce has never really, no offense to the Colts quarterbacks, never really had a quarterback that can stretch the field other than Anthony Richardson when he gets the chance. But, we all saw that insane play from Richardson to Pierce on that one touchdown where he's falling down, flicks the wrist and throws it 60-something yards and drops it in the bucket. That was insane. Alec Pierce has just never been maximized. He's always had Pittman as the number one, so he doesn't get the more complex route tree. I think he's more than capable of running a much more full route tree and doing a whole lot more for an offense. I think someone's going to pay him good money. Good hands, great speed. He's been a good separator. He just has never been asked to be a number one. I think he could be a number one, man. I really do. I think that the teams, when you look at this, I think the Jets, you could make him a number two, a great number two with Garrett Wilson. That'd be awesome. I think the Colts should try and keep him if they can. I think the New England Patriots could really use someone like Alec Pierce here to stretch the field a little bit. You got really good seasons somehow out of guys like Kayshon Boutte, who I don't even know when he was drafted, but it was not an early pick. It was not very great in college. You've got Stephon Diggs, who's solid and had a good year, I suppose, but give someone young to Drake May to kind of work with here and grow with and develop that chemistry. And I wouldn't hate to see San Francisco pick up the phone here. I would not hate to see the 49ers give Alec Pierce a call and be like, man, we'd love to get you in the building, be a complimentary piece alongside Ricky Pearsall and Christian McCaffrey and George Kittle and just kind of help develop this offense a little more. I know Brock Purdy doesn't really have the arm for a deep ball guy, but the way that Shanahan's offense will work, just get the ball in Pierce's hands and let him do the rest. So Alec Pierce is probably going to get $22 million a year, which seems like an insane number for Alec Pierce. But guys, with the way that the salary cap is working right now and the way it's just continuing to rise up, that's what we've got to expect. It's going to be crazy numbers. You got to just be ready for that. Okay, moving into offensive linemen. I'm just going to talk about two today. Again, there's obviously a ton more, but these are two of the bigger names in my opinion. Well, ish on one of them for sure. Let's start Rasheed Walker here. I think when you look at players last year that balled out, the two receivers we just talked about, Rasheed Walker had kind of a rough year. I think he might have cost himself a little bit of money. Really solid tackle, had a rough season last year for Green Bay. He is a very, very good pass blocker. Really struggled in the run game, but the pass blocking is top 20 tackle in the NFL level. Very, very solid, and teams are going to pay for that. And when you look at what someone like, and I hate to do this because people are going to be like, oh, they won't do it again because it was a mistake. Yeah, I know. Dan Moore should have never gotten paid what he got paid in Tennessee, but he did. End of the day, that's what he got. So if I'm Rasheed Walker, that's where I'm starting. Like, hey, I'm worth that much at least. I'm worth $20+ million if Dan Moore is going to get that. As Tua Tagovailoa said best, the market is what the market is, man. Sorry, you got to pay it. Rasheed Walker's a starting caliber left tackle, and teams are going to be like, yep, he's a great pass blocker. We can run the other direction. We can run zone schemes to kind of minimize his detriment to the run game. And I think he gets paid solidly. And I think some of the teams that are going to be looking to bring him in, I think Cleveland Browns could be looking for a left tackle for sure, although they're more of the run-heavy team here. So will they want a guy who's better in pass pro? I don't know. They've got a new head coach. They're going to have a new system. Maybe they have a quarterback in Shador. We'll find out. Maybe they want a better pass blocking team. Give him some more time to get through his reads. I think Pittsburgh Steelers, another team here. Broderick Jones really just hasn't worked out at tackle. You've got good pieces on the interior. I would say your other four spots are pretty solid, especially when you've got Fatanu and Frazier, Sayamalo, and and McCormick. I think you've got four good pieces. Broderick Jones really struggled this year. You could bring in an upgrade for sure. I think the Bears, Theo Benedette was really solid, kind of a shockingly good play for them this year. And then Ozzie Trapillo was also pretty good, so maybe they decided to save money. But I could see the Bears saying, you know what, let's just go all in on having one of the best offensive lines in football, which they already have with the 4 minus the left tackle. But then you could just say, you know what, let's just go get a stud blocking left tackle and call it good. Could see the Bears making a move like that. And Dallas, I have long been skeptical of the Tyler Guyton pick because it's a right tackle. You're asking to be a starter at left tackle. Hasn't worked so far. Could see them saying, you know what, we need somebody that can block better on that side. We've got a little extra cap space since we got rid of Micah Parsons. They could bring in someone like Rasheed Walker, who is going to command some serious cash. When it's all said and done, Rasheed Walker is going to get over $20 million a year. I've got him making $21 million a year on the dot. 4 years, $84 million. Seems like a ton of money, but that's what left tackles are going for right now. And last but not least, maybe the best player here, just pound for pound best player I've talked about today. That's Tyler Linderbaum, center for the Baltimore Ravens. That looks like he's going to hit free agency. I cannot believe that that's going to happen. Tyler Linderbaum has been nothing short of spectacular since he was taken in the first round by the Baltimore Ravens. He has never been graded per PFF outside of the top 6 centers in the NFL in any seasons that he's been in the league. The last 4 years, he has constantly been a top 6 center graded, which is fantastic. He's only 25 years old. He's an elite run blocker, and the guy just doesn't miss any football games at all. He's played over 900 snaps in every single season of his career. That's crazy dependability. He's super smart, great offensive lineman. He's resetting that market. He's going to be the new highest paid center, in my opinion. I think he goes after Creed Humphrey's money. I think he goes well beyond what Drew Dahlman just got, and look how impactful he was for Chicago. Someone is going to lock in Tyler Linderbaum for the next 5 years. I think this is one of the bigger contracts we see this offseason, kind of like Robert Hunt's deal with the Carolina Panthers a couple years ago. I think he gets a little bit less than that because center's not quite as well valued around the league. But I think that teams like the Ravens should really try to keep him around. I know that they've let him get to free agency. You still should call and make an offer on him. Try and keep him there. He's a huge part of that run-first offense because he is such a good run-blocking center. The obvious one here, Los Angeles Chargers need to just give him a blank check and say whatever it takes to bring you in. Again, only 25 years old. He's athletic enough to run in Mike McDaniel's scheme as a zone blocker. He'll be excellent with them if they decide to bring him in. Could totally see the Chargers just saying, listen, Tyler, I don't know what you want. You write down the number, and we'll give you more than that, okay? Just come to play for LA, please. Their offensive line was so bad. Detroit Lions should be on the phone as well, trying to bring in a great run-blocking center with the offense that they have. That offensive line kind of struggled this year, and you could see it. The team itself struggled. Jared Goff needs a good offensive line in front of him. and he lost a ton of talent in the last couple of years with guys retiring. Time to start restocking that talent just a little bit. Go get someone like Tyler Linderbaum and make him the center for the next 5+ years. And then Tennessee Titans, again, Lloyd Cushenberry is probably going to be a cap casualty this offseason. And he hasn't been very good anyways. They never should have let Aaron Brewer go. Thank you guys for him. He's awesome. He was one of the top, I think he was the second best center in football this year per PFF. I want to say he was second team All-Pro or just missed out on an All-Pro. No, I'm pretty sure he was second team All-Pro. So the second best center in all of football this year. Dude's a stud. They chose Lloyd Cushenberry. It didn't work. You have a chance to rectify that here. You've got the cap space. Go get Tyler Linderbaum. I think Linderbaum goes for 5 years, $94 million, just shy of that $20 million a year. And I think he's worth every dollar of it, right around $19 million a year. Over Creed Humphrey's 18. I think he deserves it. So that's what I've got for you guys on today's free agency prediction video. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. I know that these are huge contracts, but again, every year we see stuff like this happen where players, it's like, how did this guy make that much money? That's just what the market is, man. And the cap just continues to go up and up and up. We're at, what, $313 million for the overall cap space going into this upcoming season? It's crazy. These teams are going to spend it, and these players deserve it. These players I talked about have earned these contracts, and I think they're going to get somewhere around this. I'd be shocked to see them get really much less than any of this. Some of them might even go over what I'm predicting. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if I overlooked the team for one of these players. Like, oh my God, how did he not mention this team for Tyler Linderbaum or this team for George Pickens? Let me know. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel because I will have the defensive video coming out real soon within the next week or so. And also we do mock drafts every single week if you like the NFL draft. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. We'll see you guys in the next one.